Welcome to the Grand Valley State Sports Reporter. I'm your host, Brent Ashcroft from WZZM TV 13. Basketball season is well underway, and we welcome men's head coach Rick Wesley and women's head coach Janel Burgess to the studio for the first time this week. Tom Cleary will review the national championships in women's soccer and cross country. We will also look at some of the awards handed out to Laker student athletes this fall. All this and more as the Grand Valley State Sports Report starts right now. The men's basketball team won a tight contest against Tiffin at home as they come away with a 76-75 win. Joining us now is head coach Rick Wesley to talk about it. Before we talk about that, Coach, 4 up, 4 down for you at this point. Just assess your season so far. Obviously, there's one game in there that's pretty interesting, the 4 overtime game against Ashland. I guess Grand Valley did have one other 4 overtime game, but it was back in 1983, so that's kind of a rarity for something like that to happen.
Yeah, we've had a kind of a mixed bag, some good moments, some not so good moments. We've had a very tough schedule. We had 6 of our first 7 on the road, 2 tough tournaments, split both tournaments, tough start to the GLIAC going on the road. Starting off with a very, very good Ashland team. Didn't play well early in the game, made a tremendous comeback, had several opportunities to maybe win the game, and just couldn't get it done. In the end, it was a 4 overtime at the buzzer loss, which I can't even tell you how difficult that was. And I think that that carried over to the next game, the Saturday game, where we just didn't have any energy more than anything else. So kind of a tough start for us for the GLIAC, but coming back and getting this win against Tiffin hopefully rights the ship and gives us a little momentum as we move forward.
Yeah, here's the highlights right here. Let's check in. You had an 8-day layoff between games. Did that affect your team at all going into this game, do you think?
Well, first of all, I had to live with the tough 2-game stretch where we lost, and then add to that we had exams. I mean, that's a lot of stuff. But at the same time, we changed some things in our lineup, worked on some changes in our offense. I don't know if that it was readily apparent, but I do think we got better during the course of the week, and fortunately we came off with a good, close, tough, hard-fought win here.
Tiffin led the entire first half in this basketball game. Your team was able to throw a few runs at them, but at least for the first half, Tiffin seemed to kind of hold your team at bay a little bit. A little frustrating?
Well, they're a tough team. They could have easily been 2-0 coming in here. They had lost 2 close games. They're very big. They sit back in the zone, kind of protect the basket. You see there, it's hard to score around the basket. They got some real good length. And then offensively, they're very much a tempo team. They kind of grind it out. They take time off the clock. So it's really hard to get going against them. So, I wasn't surprised. The game probably went about the way we thought. We're just happy that again, you see when you get around the basket, they've got a lot of tall guys. I thought in the second half we went a little bit small and made some threes, so we didn't really go toe-to-toe with their size, and we were able to find some opportunities on the outside.
A couple of good games here from a few of your players. Ricky Carbajal, double-double, 22 and 12 for you. Maybe more importantly, he was 8 for 8 from the free throw line, because it was the free throw line at the end of this game that really got you the victory.
Yeah, no question. Close games, you got to make free throws. That hurt us in the 4 overtime loss. And in this game, coming down the stretch, Luke Reiskamp knocked a couple in. Ricky was solid. That's so important. And Ricky's been playing well. Every night he's pretty consistent. He's getting 16 to 18 points, 8 or 9 rebounds. He's our most consistent player right now, and we really look for him to produce on a nightly basis.
Now, your team was down 9, 37-28 early in the second half, but then you threw an 11-2 run at them to tie the game at 39. That was a very important stretch for your team in this game, right?
Well, no question. You got to have some runs. If you're going to win games, you got to have some stretches where you outplay the opponent. And I think that, here's Darren Kaputska. Darren had a good good game. We moved him to the bench to change his role a little bit. He's one of our best shooters. Hasn't been getting great shots, and I thought the role we played him in this game really helped him. So again, the threes were probably the difference. Their size, length, and we weren't going to get easy opportunities around the bucket. We had to hit from the outside, and fortunately we did.
You know, you play a close game like this, 1 point win, it's interesting to really look at the stat page because some interesting areas pop out. We could talk about the free throw shooting and how important that was. There's no doubt it was. But you won in other areas too. Bench scoring, you outscored them 33-19. That was a huge a component in this victory. And second chance points, 19-10. I mean, there you go right there. There's some big numbers for you.
Well, with Darren Kapuska coming off the bench now, he's like a starter for us, and Luke Reiskamp, same thing. So, you know, it's sort of a hope of ours that our bench and our scoring production come up the bench will be strong with those two guys. They come in, they really give us you know, a lift, a bit of a pop coming off the bench. So that's a real positive. Hopefully it's a rotation that will continue to work. All
right, a couple of games this week before the holiday break. You got Ohio Dominican tomorrow night, so right away back to work, and then Purdue University North Central Saturday afternoon in Allendale. Size us up these two opponents for us.
Well, again, we're trying to get some momentum. You know, we're on a one-game winning streak, so it's super important we come back. GLIAC game, Ohio Dominican is a team that gave us a tough battle down there at their place last year, so we need to build on this game here against Tiffin and come back and play as well, if not better. And then Saturday is that last game before you go on Christmas break. And you know, any coach will tell you his enjoyment of the Christmas holidays is directly related to how they play in their last game. So hopefully we can come out and finish it off. It'll be tough. Students are gone quite often. That's not the most exciting game of the year, but it's an important one for us to go home with some momentum and enjoy the holidays.
All right, Rick, enjoy the holidays. Good luck in your games this week.
Thank you.
You bet. Next up, Janel Burgess will be here to review the week in women's basketball. The women's basketball team is off to a 6-0 start. On Sunday, they beat Tiffin 69-61 for their third straight GLIAC win. And joining us now in studio to talk about is head coach Janel Burgess. Great start to your season. Six games, 6 wins. What more do you want right now, huh?
Well, there's some things that we definitely need to get better at, but I think just to be 6-0 and being really confident with the way in which we're playing and truly relying on our defense to be successful. I mean, we're only giving up 56 points a game, so that's encouraging.
All right, Tiffin, you had yesterday a rare Sunday home game. Tell us why that happened.
Well, we had finals coming up, and then we had some other scheduling issues that we had to work through, so we play a Sunday-Tuesday series this week, which is very, very unique for us.
All right, you hosted them in Allendale. It was kind of a tale of two halves. Your team started rather slowly, making 8 of 29 shots in the first half, not exactly the way you wanted to go.
No, I would say not. I mean, we had a lot of open opportunities. I mean, our shooting percentage was atrocious. We had some rebounding issues that we needed to clean up desperately on defense. So halftime was pretty simple. It was clean up your defensive rebounding, please, and let's go ahead and finish shots in the paint. And once we did that, we were able to create a little bit of a gap, but still not a big one. And I think Tiffin probably played one of their best games of the year, no doubt.
Here's some of the highlights. Why don't you tell us what you see here?
Well, you know, I just think it's interesting. We've added some new young ladies into the program. Brianna Barnett, who just shot previously there, is a transfer guard from Wisconsin Green Bay. And there's our freshman, man. I'm going to tell you what, I thought that shot was in. I didn't even watch it, and all of a sudden I heard whap as she blocked that sucker. And she's a 6'2" freshman that's just really going to grow for us in a lot of ways. And then you're seeing there a nice pass from Lutz, and that's, you know, our sophomore class is a big core to what we're doing, but I think we have to make sure that we give our 2 seniors extreme credit because we have 2 seniors that are playing their roles to their fullest in Catherine LaPrairie and Meryl Kripe, and just helping us do those simple hustle plays by encouragement.
You know, we talked about the shooting issues, 35%, not the number that you want to post, but your team did make up for that in other areas. You committed a season-low 6 turnovers defensively. You forced the Dragons into 23 miscues, which led to 20 points for you, so you got to like seeing that.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, what I like the most right now about our team is just the fact that we really are not overwhelmed by any situation. They played an extremely physical game for us yesterday, and we were able to play through that. We still took care of the ball. Just those simple passes that you're seeing, these extra passes that are making easy inside-out threes, are reasons why we're able to be successful. And then Cat LaPrairie, you guys are just on fire. She's shooting 53% from the three-point line, but she's able to do that because we're just be able to create simple shots for her.
Yeah, Kayla Dawson, big game, 19 points. She was also 10 for 10 from the free throw line for it, which is another number you like to see.
Yeah, I mean, we went 19 to 20 for the game from the free throw line, and you know, I just love the composure of this team. I love our competitiveness, you know, and there's really just some unity here that's very unique. And I think that's why we're able to take care of the ball as well as we are, and it's why we're playing as well, the defense as well as we are, because our defense relies on a team effort, and so we have to be able to rely on each other. And there's just a deep three.
Nice one. Corinne Hinkska. Did I say that name right?
Corinne Hinkska.
Corinne Hinkska.
There you
Sorry
go.
about that. All right. Only 4 points, 4 boards, but career high steals. Her post presence, you know, she's doing some things for you on the court right now defensively that you have to absolutely love.
Yeah, we do. I mean, she's very athletic. I can't even express that enough. In the sense that she's able to just alter some things. Yesterday had 5 steals. One of those was a humongous block that you saw earlier. And just her court presence and her desire to just be able to do whatever. And her team is helping her continue to grow, because let me tell you, she's only tapped her talent level. And then Kayla Dawson right there is just really, I mean, she's being a horse for us right now, averaging about 19 points a game, which is really, really special to see in a sophomore.
Talk about Brianna Barnett. This is a girl, too, who has certainly come to play for you every night so far. She's a big reason why you're 6-0.
Yeah, Barnett's just kind of got some ice in her blood, I guess you could say, wants the ball in her hands in crucial times, and our players are able to deliver those passes or give her those opportunities to score, but also be able to pressure a little bit defensively, and has really grown into our system. I think we forget how hard it can be to be able to come in and take in new stuff and be able to adjust and do it well.
No, you're back to work again tomorrow night, aren't you?
Yes, we are. Holy cow, a short turnaround. Is really odd having a Sunday-Tuesday series, and we're just excited. We got to go back on the court one more time here at home before we get to take a little break in the sense of playing at home, and hit the road then on Sunday next week at Lewis.
All right, thanks, Janelle. We'll be back to look back at the soccer team's back-to-back championships right after this. A great program is able to adapt to changes each year. The women's soccer team did that as they won back-to-back championships with a new coach and some new student athletes making big contributions. Tom Cleary has the story.
2013, the most amazing story of a national championship soccer season was the play of goalkeeper Abby Miller, who went undefeated in her first and only year as a starter after replacing the graduated Chelsea Parise. But in 2014, Grand Valley came up with another soccer miracle as Andrea Strauss replicated Miller's feat of helping her team to a national championship in her first year on the job. Andrea first caught the attention of last year's staff while on the Grand Valley club soccer team, where she enjoyed a more relaxed version of the sport following her prep days. But at the end of this year, the ex-club player turned in the fall's most astonishing varsity performance when she saved 3 straight penalties against St. Rose in the NCAA semifinals.
My junior year, I started playing for the women's club soccer team here at Grand Valley, and first practice of the year, Erica Demers came up to me and talked about the possibility of joining the varsity soccer team, and they needed another goalkeeper. And so I mulled it over for a few weeks. I went to a few practices with the varsity team and fell in love with it and decided, this is something I want to do. So I went with it, played last fall, and it's been absolutely amazing. The girls are so fun to be around. We've got a great coaching staff, that make it enjoyable to play soccer, and to play at this level and to represent Grand Valley is truly something I never would have expected, and I'm glad I got the opportunity to fulfill this. So.
After Strauss's stare down in the win over St. Rose, Jeff Hostler said he had never seen a shootout end after 3 kicks, nor had he ever seen a goalkeeper save all the shots an opponent took during penalties. Buoyed by that win, the Lakers then crushed Rollins in the final 3-0 on a goal by Kendra Stauffer and 2 by senior Jenny Shaba, the tournament's top offensive player. This year's soccer squad included nearly a dozen newcomers, including a pair of sisters who played together in their first season on the field in Allendale. Redshirt freshman Alexis Mancotti took over a central defensive spot midway through the year after an injury to Katie Woolley, while true freshman Gabriella Mancotti was the Lakers' starting center forward. Gabriella led the nation's freshmen in goals with 16 and provided critical assists to Shaba in the NCAA tournament wins over Rollins and unbeaten Central Missouri.
Gabe's a really great player. She works really hard and she just has such a big presence on the field that I think she's very difficult to defend. And I think we work well off each other, and it's been a lot of fun playing with her.
In the title game, Alexis had a solid partnership with freshman Shannon Quinn to keep the pressure on Strauss to a minimum. It was a year at Grand Valley that saw senior UNA Odendahl named All-America at left back, while sophomore Claire Carlson starred as the outside defender on the right. Once again, the Lakers fielded the nation's best-rounded offense with more than a dozen players scoring during the season, including super sub Katie Bounds up front, along with senior Charlie Sosha, Katie Klunder, and sophomore All-America Marty Corby in the midfield. And just as Strauss and Alexis Mancotti delivered in their first seasons of substantial playing time, so too did transfer Kaylee Schlosser, whose overtime goal stunned unbeaten Wisconsin Parkside earlier in the tournament. And while this Grand Valley squad lived up to the standard of former teams, it's worth pointing out the Lakers didn't even have a head coach or top assistant until just 2 months before the start of the season. But when Hostler was hired in late June after Dave Diani left for the University of Iowa, he and former Laker star Kristen Walker quickly put their squad on the path to another national championship. For the Grand Valley State Sports Report, I'm Tom Cleary.
Cross-country national champion Kendra Foley has been nominated for the Division II Athlete of the Year. Kendra is one of 11 finalists in the prestigious award sponsored by Honda. Kendra is the first Grand Valley State Laker to win the title since Mandy Zemba in 2005. Soccer midfielder Marty Corby was also nominated for Division II Woman Athlete of the Year. A Capital One All-Academic American selection, Marty had 12 goals and 13 assists in helping the Lakers win their second straight championship. Junior defensive lineman Matt Judon and senior defensive back Deontay Hurst were named to the 2014 All-Region 4 Football First Team. Junior offensive lineman Jim Walsh earned second-team honors. Matt Judon led the GLIAC with 8.5 sacks and was second in tackles for a loss with 19. Defensive back Deontay Hurst led the Lakers with 92 tackles. He had 2 interceptions, including a pick six. Offensive lineman Jim Walsh is a 2-time All-GLIAC honoree. In volleyball, setter Caitlin Walters and libero Christina Canepa earned All-American honorable mentions. It is the second year in a row for Caitlin Walters. A great all-around player, Caitlin was the GLIAC Player of the Year and had over 1,000 assists this season. Christina Canepa is second all-time in Grand Valley history for digs. Like us on Facebook at the Grand Valley State Sports Report. We are streaming on the web at youtube.com/WGVU35 and WGVU.org/GVSports. For your Laker Minute, I'm Andrew Murray.
The women's cross-country team has won 4 national titles, but maybe none as impressive as last week's championship in Louisville. Tom Cleary takes a look back.
At a school where conference titles and national championships are not uncommon occurrences, the sport of cross-country is one of the main reasons why Grand Valley athletes have dominated all sports competitions in the Great Lakes Conference and in Division II for more than a decade. In early December, the standout men's squad of Jerry Baltus finished as the Division II runner-up to Adams State again, while the women roared to their 4th national title in 5 years. Not only did the Lakers almost literally lap the field at the NCAA Championship in Louisville, they fielded the top 3 finishers in Kendra Foley, Allison Winchester, and Jessica Janicki.
You know, we knew all year, and we did talk about, we had 3 women that we felt could win national championship, and they showed it today. In essence, we really did that, going 1, 2, 3, all 3 of them deserving of being individual national championships.
Jerry, mentioned something about sweeping it, and I was just like, we just thought that was crazy. And in the race today, when we were, I don't know where we were exactly, but we hear Jerry yell, like, we can go 1, 2, 3, we can go 1, 2, 3, and I see my teammate up ahead, and I see my teammate come up right beside me, and that just pumped me up, and like our crowd with everything, and we just went for it. We put it all on the line, and we worked together as a team, and we fought for each other, so we had each other's backs.
I saw him about halfway through the race, and he was yelling that, and at that point I was like, yeah, we can do this, and there were so many people at that point all in a group, so it really came down to toughness, and we had about a K left to go, and that's when I really put it down, and I said, we really can do this.
If we ran this 3 different times, we've had all 3 of them have led us at different points in the year as our #1 runner. We probably could have 3 different ladies win the individual title. So.
Throughout the 2014 season, Foley and Winchester took turns leading Grand Valley's assault on opponents and the record book. Kendra became Grand Valley's 2nd ever individual cross-country champion, while Allison's standout career included her 2nd in Louisville and a 3rd at the Notre Dame Invitational in October, a showing that earned her the National Division II Athlete of the Month award. Jessica Janicki was also 3rd overall and the top Laker finisher at November's Midwest Regional in Evansville, leading her squad to a 1st place finish.
The goal was, to get a better place every year, and I've, got a better place every year at a national meet. So, that's all I wanted, and, teammate was in front of me, and couldn't ask for anything better than that.
Allie's been running great, Jess been running great, Hannah's been running great, so it's a good feeling to have as a coach, knowing you got some very capable bodies, and what I feel best about is they're handling as a team, and individuals that they appreciate each other, feel good about each other.
But while writers have talked about the loneliness of long-distance runners, Grand Valley's success comes from an ability to continuously put together teams with great depth. At this year's regional, for instance, Kendra Foley was rested, allowing senior Hannah Osborne and junior Jordan Chester to move up in the pecking order to earn top 10 finishes, as 5 Lakers earned all-region honors. During Baltus's reign in Allendale, his teams have developed a pack mentality and training during Michigan's tough weather seasons, something that paid off again in cold and muddy Louisville.
Probably the muddiest I've ever ran in. Me and Allie love the elements. I know a lot of people thought it was really fun today, but every race brings a new challenge, so this was something new and exciting, and I think that's what made it really special.
While Grand Valley will get Nick through graduation this year with the losses of Winchester and Osborne, there are a number of speedy underclass athletes waiting for their shot. Sophomore Amy Kreutz cracked the top 5 in 2014 and will be joined again next year by a handful of promising freshmen, all of whom turned in encouraging results this fall. And while the men and women of Grand Valley Cross Country continue to make it a sport for which Laker prowess is known throughout the country, they need the speed of a superhero character to match the accolades of Jerry Baltus, who's claimed the annual GLIAC Coach of the Year award on both sides of the street for more than a decade. For the Grand Valley State Sports Report, I'm Tom Cleary.
This is our last episode of the year. The Grand Valley State Sports Report will be back on Monday, January 5th with highlights and interviews of the basketball team's big conference games against Wayne State and Findlay. Remember, Tuesday night, the Lakers will host Ohio Dominican at the Fieldhouse. Like us on Facebook at the Grand Valley State Sports Report. We are streaming on the web at youtube.com/WGVU35 and WGVU.org/GVSports. For the crew, I'm Brent Ashcroft. Have a happy holiday season.